All right, let's talk about something every designer knows. It's that feeling at the start of a new project. You pull out the playbook, you know the drill, you know all the steps, it's safe, it's familiar, and it usually goes something like this.
Okay, so step one, we do our user research. Then, step two, we whip up those picture-perfect personas, with the stock photos and the made-up names. After that, we map their whole emotional journey from start to finish. We lead these big brainstorms, we write out the perfect how might we statements, we cover a wall in sticky notes, we wireframe, we test, and bam, project done. You followed the process. Problem solved, right?
Well, yeah, about that. According to Ginny Nguyen, who's a design lead at Anthropic and used to be the director of design at Figma, that whole perfect, clean process we all learned, it's time to call bullshit.
So why? Why is this textbook process that we've relied on for so long suddenly so broken? Well, it boils down to three huge, seismic shifts that are completely changing the game for all of us.
Okay, reality check number one, and it's the big one, the rise of AI. I mean, this isn't just a buzzword anymore, right? It's fundamentally rewiring our tools and what we're capable of. A product manager can literally vibe code a working prototype faster than you can write a problem statement.
This totally reframes what our job even is. You know that old debate, should designers code? That's over. It's ancient history. Now, designers can code. We can prototype with insane ease. We can implement with pixel-perfect precision. We are so much more than people who just make pretty static pictures. We're more powerful than ever, and that old, slow process just can't hang.
The second reality check is something we're all feeling. The economic pressure to do more with less. After years of layoffs and cuts, the industry's kind of realized that small, lean teams can be incredibly powerful. There's just less bureaucracy and way more focus.
And this pressure is just blurring all the lines between our roles. Designers are now expected to think more strategically, almost like a product manager, and at the same time, PMs are out there prototyping. So here's the thing. In a world where everyone's wearing multiple hats, who on earth has time for a rigid 6-step process on every single project? We have to be way more agile than that.
And that brings us to the third big shift. And this one's a bit of a twist. A huge, renewed focus on craft. Think about it. In a world where AI can spit out endless options, the baseline for what's considered good has just shot through the roof. Your work has to be better than what a simple prompt can create.
And that's the real key, isn't it? If anyone can make a thing, the real value, the magic, comes from taste, from curation, from that human ability to look at 100 options and choose the one that's truly great. Your judgment is now your most valuable asset. And we're already seeing this happen. Users are getting tired of generic AI slop. They're flocking to products that feel like they were made by a human who actually cares. Like the satisfying tactile feel of a great camera app, or the incredible speed and polish of Linear, or just how seamless Notion Calendar feels. These products are winning because they feel good to use, and that's a quality that you just can't get from a checklist.
So if you think about it, trusting that old design process is kind of like following IKEA instructions. You get a clear set of steps, you follow them in order, and you expect to get a very predictable bookshelf at the end. But here's the catch. With real innovation, you often have no idea what you're building when you start out. So what happens when the instructions are for a bookshelf, but you're actually supposed to be building a chair? Or, a hot dog? The process completely falls apart when the destination is unknown.
Okay, so if the old process is dead, then how does great work actually happen? It's not just total chaos. There are new patterns emerging. So let's look at 5 principles that the world's best teams are using right now.
First up, and I know this is going to feel illegal, is to start with the solution. For years, it's been hammered into our heads, don't jump to solutions. But with new tech like AI, sometimes a really compelling solution can actually reveal a problem we didn't even know was a big deal.
A perfect example of this is the artifacts feature in the AI tool Claude. It didn't start with a user journey map or a problem statement. It started as a scrappy prototype a researcher built. But when the team saw it, this interactive panel that generated code right next to the chat, they just knew. They knew there was something there. The solution was so good, it made everyone realize just how massive the original problem really was.
Number 2, care ruthlessly about the details. Truly great craft doesn't just happen in a single design phase. It's a long, long tail of continuous, obsessive tweaking that happens way after you first launch.
Think about FigJam. When it launched, it was good, but it became great because the team spent years just refining the core mechanics.
They obsessed over everything: the feel of snapping and alignment, the look of selection borders, the color palettes, even something as tiny as how shapes overflow when you type too much. This pursuit of quality is never ending, and it sure doesn't fit into a neat little box in a process diagram.
Okay, the third principle: operate on intuition. For way too long, intuition has been a dirty word in design. People treat it like it's just random guessing, and that is completely wrong.
True design intuition isn't a vibe, it's an expert-level skill. It's the ability to make smart, reasoned judgments super quickly because you've built up this deep internal model of your users, your product, and the market. You earn it. You earn it by reading every single piece of feedback, by watching hours of research sessions, by knowing your data inside and out. It's a shortcut to excellence, and it's real.
Fourth, and this is a big one, give yourself permission to skip and invent steps. The design process is a toolkit, it's not a holy book. Your value as a designer isn't in following the rules, it's in knowing which tool to use, and more importantly, when to just invent a whole new one.
Look at the classic Google Ventures design sprint. Maybe a 5-day sprint is just too much for your team. So what? Why not turn it into a 3-day prototyping jam? Or take Amazon's famous working backwards press release document. At Figma, that felt a little too static, so they remixed it. They started asking, how would a user tweet about this feature? That simple change made the whole exercise so much more immediate and powerful for them.
And finally, the fifth principle is my favorite. Sometimes you should do something just to make people smile. Delight, joy, emotion. These things often exist totally outside of formal problem statements and user personas. Things like FigJam's emotes or cursor chat. They didn't solve some critical business need. They came from a simple desire to create connection and fun, and that matters.
So, where does all this leave us? Well, the old mantra is dead. We're in a totally new era, and it demands a new rule. It is time for us, as designers, as builders, as creators, to start trusting ourselves again.
For years, the whole industry has been chanting, trust the process, trust the process. But listen, if anyone can follow a process, then anyone can be a designer. Our real value was never in following steps. The new rule is simpler. It's a little scarier, yeah, but it's way more powerful. Trust yourself. Trust your taste. Trust your intuition. Trust your expertise.
Your real power is in knowing how to wield the right tools at the right time to get to an amazing result, no matter what path you take to get there. So, the old process is dead. You're free. The question is, what are you going to build?